Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fetch Quest podcast where we talk about video games and more. Today I am joined by my fellow co-host Logan and Connor.
What's up, guys?
Hello.
So, guys, I think my ears got a little messed up recently.
What'd you do?
But I keep hearing just a saxophone from somewhere.
Wait, hold up. No way. Because, I'm not kidding. I'm having the same problem.
Yeah, that's been happening to me a lot too.
Um,
When did it
so,
start?
I don't know. For me at least, it kind of started when I heard the third trailer for Tears of the Kingdom.
Wait a
Wait a
second.
minute. Wait. No way.
So that's where it came from. I thought Guy might have planted something in my ear while I was sleeping or something.
Okay, bro, I am not that creepy. Come on. You gotta give me more credit than that.
Yes, you are a Discord mod. But besides that, I think there's only one way we can solve this problem, and I think we should talk about some different music.
Which is a perfect segue into today's topic. Today we're going to be covering video game music and what it means to us. Boys. So, how do we feel about video game music?
I think
It's
it is massively underappreciated because a good soundtrack is what makes a masterpiece of a game.
So true.
very true and based.
That and it can really heighten your emotions during the game too, or just make you feel so much more excited to play the game. Because imagine all like the Mario games without any like sound, just
That they
playing
would
those.
suck. They
Yeah,
would
you wouldn't
actually
be
Yeah.
nearly as excited.
they would actually suck.
Yeah.
Especially because like the original Mario Bros. Soundtrack was specifically designed for how you would go about playing the level, for stomping Goombas, getting power ups, jumping around obstacles. It was designed around that.
Ever since I was a kid, I've been stomping
Koopas,
uh
turtles.
Koopas.
I
Oh my
to
Oh,
sort of
Chris Pratt.
yeah, to sort of piggyback off of what Brewer was saying. I feel like music, especially like iconic music, like is is in super necessary for the character, because there are just some songs you cannot separate from a character to where it almost becomes like an extension of the character itself. Like, for example, like I personally don't believe Sans would be nearly as popular if it was not for Megalovania.
That one little bit, that doo 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 doo.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Everyone recognizes that. The
Yeah,
yeah,
moment
it's
you hear
like
it, you're like,
crazy.
no,
it's
no,
so
no, no, no.
iconic. And I feel like because of how iconic it is, that's a big reason why Sans is as iconic as he is. Like, don't get me wrong, Sans is a great enough character on his own, but that track, that song, is a big reason why he's as famous as he is.
Well,
And the
also,
same thing,
because it's designed around the fight too. I mean, most soundtracks are, but in the same way the Mario Bros. Theme was designed around what you were doing, that was designed around getting fucking obliterated.
yeah, it it's the same thing with like Mario and Zelda. Like, you cannot separate the music from those games, or else it's just not the same at all.
I just want to say, rip to deaf people.
Sorry, deaf people.
They're not even going to be able to hear this though.
So real.
Maybe we add some subtitles in the future.
Maybe. Um, but
Shout
yeah,
out
no,
to
I
all the
can.
Yeah,
deaf people.
yeah. How about each of us just go through some of our favorite soundtracks and just like what makes them so great, and also how they tie into their games. That sound good to you
So,
guys?
Yeah.
um, yeah. If you don't mind, I'll start us off.
Yeah, you go, guy.
I wanted to talk about my favorite soundtrack from also my favorite video game, Persona 5 Royal.
I love Persona 5's Royal soundtrack is definitely one of my favorites. It's a really hard choice between that and a game I'm going to talk about, but it's definitely like top 3 or top 2.
But you'll
Yeah.
have to wait and listen to see what Brewer has to say, and you have to have good viewer retention, or else YouTube won't like you. Um, but so Persona 5 Royal. I'm not gonna go into the nitty gritty of the game. It's a JRPG. It's a half turn-based dungeon crawler and half social life simulator. That's all you really need to know. It's my favorite video game of all time, and a big aspect of it has to be its soundtrack. It is incredible. It balances both the like intensity of battle that you'll be doing throughout the game, while also like giving you like calm, meadow tones. Something that I love about that game in particular is that it makes you feel very connected with the characters, especially with the soundtrack at play.
Yeah, that and for the emotional story beats, the soundtrack really hypes it up too.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Because like later in the game during like the final fight, all the characters are kind of like stating their convictions, and then like the music in the background really helps you like feel dedicated to that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what
What's
you first.
I was just gonna say because I know we've all played it. What's each of our favorite track from that game?
That is
Uh,
really hard
Throw away your mask, which I will
for me.
talk about in a second. But y'all pick yours.
Uh,
Mine,
God, it's hard.
mine's definitely Rivers in the Desert. I love Rivers in the Desert.
That's my second favorite song.
I think that was my favorite song until Royal came out, and then after I played Royal, it was I Believe.
God,
I
I
believe
believe is
really
also
good.
really good.
I
Oh my
believe
lord.
is really
Because
really
after I
good.
played that, I just had the like little I Believe thing
I
I
stuck in my head.
believe.
believe.
Yeah, I had
Oh,
that
dude,
stuck in my head for weeks.
God, it's so good. But
it's such a good song.
I want to talk about two songs from the game. One of
All
them
right.
being Last Surprise. I chose this one because in like the public domain, it's not public domain, but it's like in the public consciousness, which is a thing in the game, it's pretty much the most popular song. Um I love this song a lot. And it's the base battle theme for Persona 5. And in Persona 5 Royal, they actually add another battle song, but you have to meet a certain condition to actually have the song play. But I love it so much.
Which is it? Take Over.
No, 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 Last Surprise.
Okay, okay.
Um, it's the like really catchy like smooth jazz theme that it's like it plays through like the player's perspective. Like reading out some of the lyrics, you try to run me through. Hold on, think again. Don't you know what you're starting? But you ain't so sure. Gotta no, you ain't sure. Ain't got a clue how bad this will go. Don't you know? Know my art of war. It's it's essentially like the lyrics are essentially saying this enemy is questioning. They should be questioning why they picked a battle with us with the party and whatnot. And it makes like not only is it catchy and it's fun to hear, but to me at least, I feel like powered up and motivated to like keep battling and not be distraught because of a song like that. Because like it feels like I'm being powered up from that.
Yeah,
You know
well, I
what I
think too, while you're getting your shit kicked in by like a spirit elephant, having that egg you on to keep going too, it really does help.
mean? It does. It really does.
Because I think that's what helps its turn-based combat too. Because a lot of people get turned off by it because they think it feels slow. But along with like the quick UI of Persona 5's battles, and just at the pace it plays, the music really helps with that too. Because it's
Oh,
all fast paced. The jazz is really nice and catchy.
oh, for sure. Let's not forget about the best part about the song. You'll never see it coming. You'll see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done in. By the time it's hit you, your last surprise. I love that. I love that part of the song so much. But yeah, that going on with what we've said, just like empowering you and making you like feel like determined to just keep going on, like that you'll never see it coming part really hits home for me. Like if you ever listen to the song, audience, please do, and you'll understand what we're saying, especially when you play the game. because like you're gonna be hearing the song a lot, but it just does not get old to me. It really does not.
Yeah, I love Last Surprise.
It's so good. Um, second game I wanted, not second game, second song from Persona 5 I want to talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say you went off that quick for your favorite game.
No. um, throw.
Spoiler alert: there's only one good song in the game.
Just one.
Yeah, it's just one,
Yeah,
obviously. My favorite song in Persona 5 Royal, "Throw Away Your Mask." I'm not gonna spoil. I'm gonna spoil some themes and some like how characters feel, but I'm not gonna spoil like the final boss and whatnot. I genuinely like play the game. It's incredible. But "Throw Away Your Mask" is only played in at one point of the game, and it's at the very final boss of Persona 5 Royal. Its true ending. And I love this song so much because it is a song that actually is not, the lyrics are not in the perspective of the protagonist and the party.
It's of the antagonist.
It is. And I find that to be very unique for the song because the voice actress who sings the songs in Persona 5, the songs that she sings are from the perspective of the party. But to see this inverse of it's from the perspective of the protagonist, it's crazy. Here's the first verse. Beliefs that I have my faith in. It never seems to see the light of day. Shadow is where my mind states in, because people tend to be sensitive to the new ways, but it doesn't have to be like this. Don't sleep through dreams that can't come true. No more tears shall drop from your cheeks anymore. You don't need to strive for greatness. Believe in me, that you don't need to suffer from anything.
Yeah, and I mean that's really fitting for the character because without going into the spoilers, the way the character sees themselves is they're trying to do their best to help the world. They're unintentionally stripping away the world of its freedom in the process, but they, at their heart, they truly do just want to help people.
Oh yeah, and he's my second favorite character ever. We're not gonna say who it is because again, spoilers, mystery man.
Yeah,
But,
definitely probably one of my favorite antagonists of all time. And I say antagonist because not villain, because he most definitely isn't a villain. Because I think an
he's truly
antagonist and villain are very different.
no, he's truly like
Yeah.
a great person at heart. He just like he's so strong-willed and like he's so
And he went
narrow-minded.
through so much too that he has a hard time seeing like what he's doing and how it's wrong.
Exactly.
But at the same time too, the stuff he does do, like if you get the bad ending, like compared to the other game's bad endings, it's a lot happier.
True.
But there's something that just feels very wrong about it.
No, I know
Which-
what you're talking about.
But yeah, the lyrics you're talking about, I think it fits him because he sees himself as a messiah type of character,
Oh, for sure.
as he's trying to guide everyone to a new land where everyone can be happy. There's no pain. There's no suffering.
Exactly. Why have choice in the matter when choice has the potential to bring sadness and suffering? When you can have everything predetermined for you, and it's guaranteed happiness. It doesn't
Yeah.
like it's the argument of like blissful ignorance versus free will. Which again, play the game if you want to see what we're talking about. That's my favorite song in the game, and I love every time it plays in the final boss because it fits him so well.
Yeah, because I think too the music, especially for like the ending portion of Persona 5 Royal, the lyrics really tie well into what the game's trying to go for with its story and its themes.
So true.
Because what you were saying, like the song for that character, I would say that's his conviction, whereas the song "I Believe" that I mentioned before, right before you go to fight him, you're just running through like this very long portion, but the entire time that song is playing and it's getting you hyped for the battle because of the very hard decision that your group had to make to get there.
So true. It's such dude.
Yeah.
The section of the game is so good.
I think another reason why the song works so well within the context, and again, no spoilers, but I think the reason why it works so good within the context is because of the moral dilemma it proposes and the fact that it's the only type of conflict like that within the game. You know what I mean?
It's very unique. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't know if this is spoilery or not.
Be as non-specific
Um,
as possible.
okay, as not specific as possible. It's the only section that actually makes it morally gray with what you're doing. At least in my opinion, it's very morally gray.
I'd argue that's throughout the entire game, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, I can see what you're saying, Connor.
Um, I,
Especially with the
yeah,
character you go against, because it's not like everything they're saying is wrong. It's one of the best, and a good antagonist can like make you question what you're doing. But the thing that makes him an antagonist is usually it's flawed in a way,
exactly.
and that's what the song kind of reflects. Because another song that deeply ties into that character and a lot of others in the game is the ending credits theme, "Our Light."
Oh yeah, Our Light
Oh
is
my god,
incredible. Oh my
it's
god.
that that song. Like when I got done with Royal, that song actually made me like really sad, like almost teary eyed.
No, I was crying. No, I was actually crying at the end of that. I'm gonna be for real. It's that good.
It really like helps land the ending, like to because again, no spoilers. The ending is really, really, really good,
It's so
and
fucking good.
it's so good. Um,
But I'd say it's also a bittersweet ending, but it's one of
yeah,
the bittersweet
yeah,
It's the
endings
best.
that
Yeah, but that's the best ending for that type of story, though.
yeah, but what I was about to say is it's pulled off well, because I think one thing I hate seeing a lot is a story that's given like a very bittersweet ending, or just an ending where like a lot of things don't go well, and people automatically say, "Oh man, this is the greatest story ever." You guys just you're too used to good happy endings, and making it just sad and depressing doesn't make good writing,
yeah,
Attack on Titan.
unfortunately. But in Persona 5's case, the message it's trying to put through is that even if life is hard, it's unfair at times. You have to keep going. You have to just keep pushing through.
Exactly.
And
That's like Berserk.
even if you
oh
don't have the best
god,
circumstances, like you can't see your friends very often because you're all going your separate ways, and you just want this perfect type of life. You still keep your connections and you still keep walking towards your own goals.
Exactly,
yeah.
dude.
Uh, like especially like that ending hits a lot harder now for me as well because I just got out of high school and I'm separating from a lot of my friends. I'm still in contact with them, but it's like as Brewer says, I'm still keeping those connections, but it hits a lot harder now that I'm
Yeah,
actually like out of high school and stuff like that.
we need to go back to video game soundtracks. We'll do a Persona 5 episode eventually. We love that game way too much.
Well, I think we were still on
Foreshadowing?
topic with the soundtrack. We were talking about how the soundtrack affects you, but and
Yeah,
also the group emotionally.
so true.
But again, when a soundtrack can like make you cry or make you feel very emotional, the composers, I'd say they did a pretty damn good job.
They did a fantastic job with that game. They seriously did. Oh my god, it's so good. But enough with Persona 5 Royal. Again, that's like one of our favorite games. Like that's my favorite game. I know that's in Brewer's top 3. Connor, that's in your top 3 as well, isn't it?
Let me check. I have my list
You
right
don't know off
here.
the top of your head, bro.
It's top five.
Interesting. All right. We'll talk about that game later on. But I want to talk about one more series and a few more songs. Just just to conclude my part a little bit. I want to talk about the Souls series. So,
Pain.
I am
I feel pain.
I'm literally like the only big Souls fan in here, and it's really unfortunate because
Well, I tried to play Elden Ring.
yeah, and then Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Well, that
Yeah.
and I would have finished more of it, but the problem is the Future Redeemed DLC came out for Xenoblade, so that took up my time, and
Yeah,
it's
You
still taking up my time. I haven't beat it yet.
gonna
we
be
couldn't
honest, you would have had a better time playing Elden Ring than that DLC. But going back to the
I don't
soundtrack,
know. We're just talking about double spinning edge is goaded.
we don't let's get on topic.
yeah, exactly.
We can talk about Xenoblade later.
Later, but
It'll be on topic eventually.
We
with the
couldn't
Souls
have yeah,
games,
Yeah, I we unfortunately didn't have time to play Elden Cringe.
With Connor, you were literally at the final boss. With Elden Ring, essentially, I not Elden Ring, just the Souls games in general, they always have a very good like atmosphere tone when it comes to setting like with their themes and their songs. Like the Bloodborne main theme, if y'all have ever listened to that, it's very eerie, it's very gray, and it's very like dark. And it's very gothic. I love how that's the main theme of the game when you load up like the menu, and because you're literally launching yourself into this world where the normal citizens are turning into monsters and beasts, and you're the one who has to rid these streets of beast. And by the way, Bloodborne is like my fifth favorite game ever. Probably sixth now because of Tears of the Kingdom, but I love that game, and I love one of the big things for me is its soundtrack. And one boss fight with its soundtrack that I want to talk about in particular is Ludwig the Holy Blade. So, because
I'm just thinking of just like YouTuber Ludwig.
no,
The new epic crossover.
um, so Ludwig the Holy Blade is a lot of people's favorite boss in the game for good reason. Personally, he's like my second or third. Orphan of Cause and what's it called? Um, Orphan of Cause and Sister Maria are pretty up there for me as well. But um Ludwig, when you enter his boss room, his first phase, he's just like a deformed like horse beast that looks like he had multiple limbs like stitched to him and
Wait. Horse Beast?
horse, yes.
That sounds like a reference to Berserk.
It is a Berserk reference.
But
Okay,
I
I'm not
can't mention the word with that Berserk reference, unfortunately.
okay,
It's
I'm not
sad.
even kidding. Like I genuinely like some of the design, especially like the face design for Ludwig, kind of has like some Berserk horse inspiration. I'm not even kidding. If you know the scene, you know the scene.
I mean,
But
there's a lot of Berserk
in Souls,
references.
yeah. But going back to Ludwig, um, his theme isn't really that epic. Until you get to the second phase, he's like Ludwig. His lore is that he was one of the first hunters who of the church who got transformed into a beast and was sent into the hunter's nightmare where you fight him. Well, midway through the fight, he regains his consciousness and is actually able to, fight normally now. But of course, he's still in that, like, beast form. But what happens is that his weapon, the Holy Moonlight Blade, is summoned before him. So he literally becomes like a beast enemy into like a giant swordsman. It's so cool. But the soundtrack is there to reflect that. So in the mid-phase transition, the soundtrack just bumps up and the orchestra is crazy. It's so good because it makes you feel so hyped up that you're fighting this legendary warrior at his full strength. Um really testing your limits. And he's also one of the hardest fights in the entire game, which is saying something because Bloodborne in my opinion is the hardest Souls game.
Do you think someone's made a mod with like Ludwig's face over that boss?
Wait, wait, what?
Look,
Yeah, Ludwig, the
Oh,
like
Like Ludwig.
the internet content creator. Yeah,
That would be really funny. Literally Ludwig the Holy Blade.
I'll go. We should go. Someone should check the Steam like mod thing.
That is really funny. But I wanted to bring that song up because it very much like brings out that excitement in you when it comes to I want to say the anxiety when it comes to playing boss fights in Souls games because you know how strong these forces are and these enemies, but you still feel like you can take them down, but you have to respect them. And I feel like the orchestra and the song, especially for Ludwig the Holy Blade, is so good at portraying that. Ludwig is just an amazing boss. Like, play Bloodborne, it's incredible. But I wanted to talk about one more game with one more song from the Soul series. Dark Souls 3's Soul of Cinder. If y'all know what I'm talking... A lot of people would have thought I would have picked Gwen's theme. The plin plin plon, plin plin plon. um, but there is a reason why I chose Soul Cinder's theme. Soul Cinder is the final boss in Dark Souls 3 base game, and is one of the best boss fights I've ever fought ever. I love that thing so much. If you've ever seen the cover art for Dark Souls 3, the armor that is in that promotional material is the Soul of Cinder. To give some lore, Dark Souls 3 is the last game in the series, and essentially the story of Dark Souls is, oh, there's a chosen undead who needs to go on a journey to relit the first flame and become a Lord of Cinder so that the world may continue. Well, the first Lord of Cinder to complete this cycle was Gwyn. He is the final boss of Dark Souls 1, where he is built up to be this legendary warrior, but he's actually not that hard because he can be parried pretty easily. And it's like, you see him, it's just like this sad mess of what he's become. Well, Soul of Cinder is a combination of all of the past Lords of Cinder. What he does is that he actually uses the movesets of different players from like different playstyles. Like his sword actually morphs into different modes depending on like this type. Like daggers, he has a big great sword. He has like small swords, etc. He can even transform a sword into a staff and use magic. It's supposed to represent like the different players in the Dark Souls series who have beaten the game and become Lord of Cinder. And it's supposed to be like a combination of all of them, which is so cool because it pulls from so many like points of the series. But with Soul of Cinder, what's awesome is that in his second phase, his theme gets combined with Gwyn's theme, because the person who takes over the Soul of Cinder is Gwyn himself. His moveset is actually his moveset from Gwyn is used on Soul of Cinder, and it's reflected with the theme. You know who you're fighting, but he's more powerful than ever because of the power of the previous Lords of Cinder. And I think it's perfect. You know who you're fighting if you recognize the theme, if you play Dark Souls 1, but it also like shows you the stakes of the game. It's like, you beat this thing and you genuinely have the choice to renew the world or not. And I think that bringing it full circle from the first game and ending it with the third made one of the best final bosses I've ever played in a video game. I just went on like a rant about Souls, so I'm so sorry about that.
Bad guy.
I'm honestly so surprised you can get like this is not an insult, it's more an insult to my stupidity, but I'm so surprised you can get any amount of story out of Dark Souls. Like
You're
I've
actually
never
stupid.
been able
You're actually
I am
stupid.
stupid. I know I am stupid.
You are stupid.
I've never been able to glean anything besides man goes out to kill things.
Well,
Dude,
I mean, I think the gameplay has always been the bigger focus for Dark Souls, but it's not like
Well,
they ignored its story.
dude, Elden
except
Ring.
in Elden Ring. Elden Ring, I'm able to grasp the story in Elden Ring, but
Yeah, I was about to
uh,
say. Yeah, Dark Souls. Okay, I understand for like the Dark Souls trilogy, but like
yeah, the Dark Souls trilogy is the one where it's very hard for me to grasp it. I know what's happening in
the
Elden
lore
Ring.
though is fucking awesome. I love the lore in Dark Souls. It's so cool. But yeah, that was my
I will
answer.
say with like the thing you're saying about a trilogy and like finishing up,
Yeah.
nothing can be more hype though than like a previous game's like sequel, or in like a trilogy's case threequel, like featuring tracks that like mirror the other games,
Oh yeah.
or that make you feel the same beats from it, or that are
Gotcha.
also literally just the same song.
It wasn't the same
Yeah,
song. It's like a remix version combined with
I was
like,
about to say that or a remix.
yeah, but they also give Soul of Cinder some of the moves that Gwyn had, which is so cool.
Yeah, because like get making like a trilogy is probably very difficult because you have to have very large audiences for those, because companies look at it like, man, that may be hard to sell.
True.
But getting to that point and then showing that fan love by referencing those first other games with something brand new, I think is a great way to show appreciation for the music.
Oh, for sure. And I love that they dedicated like a part of the theme of Soul of Cinder to that. Like it brings things so close. But yeah, that's my stuff out of the way. Who wants to go next?
You can go, Connie.
I was gonna say you could go because you had a really cool segue with the whole. It's really cool when three calls reference the first game in really awesome
Dude,
and
yeah,
cool
I was about to
ways.
say you threw. You actually threw.
Well, I was trying to write some other stuff down.
You threw. Guys, Brewer threw.
He's throwing. He's throwing.
No, I threw.
You
All right, then
actually.
if we're gonna do this and talk about threequels, then I'm gonna talk about the Xenoblade games. More, shut up, guy.
He's coming.
Only.
More specifically, Xenoblade 3, because I think that has the best soundtrack out of all of them, and it is also probably my favorite soundtrack of all time for gaming. That is maybe tied with Persona 5. It is a very hard choice, but as of right now, it's probably my favorite because, like I said before, I really love when like the music ties into the themes of the game and its story. And Xenoblade 3 takes it up a notch compared to the first two games because the flute, or let me explain Xenoblade 3 a little. So in Xenoblade 3, you're in a war torn world where the two sides of Kevis and Agnes have been in just a and long fought battle for just thousands of years. And in that battle, there are obviously lots of deaths because it's war. And in those battles, uh, the way those souls get sent to peace is through the Offseers, who they send off the souls of the dead by playing their magic flutes. Well, maybe not magic, but they metaphorically, I guess, send them off.
Yeah, it's just meant to be. It's just meant to be like a calming and relaxing feeling for the soldiers who have to deal with like the war torn world that they're in.
Yeah, because it's still not really explained to what happens when the nodes from that, because lights emit from the bodies of the fallen soldiers when the officer theme plays or a life sent on. So it's more so, I think, to give them closure for what happened. Sort of in the same way a funeral in our world gives us closure, or other forms of grieving would. The flutes in Xenoblade 3 help you grieve, but they also function for the rest of the soundtrack too, which is why I love it so much.
It's a very good soundtrack, I will say.
Because A Life Sent On, this is like the first track I'm going to cover. What's very cool about it is, while it is for grieving, it's a multi purpose song because there's also a couple different versions of it. There's the Kevis version and the Agnes version. And by themselves, they sound really good and they both serve the same purpose. But when the two main characters, Noah and Mio, who are both Offseers, when they play it together, it makes just a beautiful orchestrated sound. It just makes it really poignant too.
I completely agree, dude. It's like I obviously both of their Offseer themes are designed to play well together, but it does show. Here's how like I see it.
Yeah,
The with like the two of the songs individually are pretty good, but when you combine them together, they make something truly beautiful, which is like
that's what
something
I
I
was gonna
kind
say
of
is one of the themes from the
yeah,
game.
it's really cool. It's
Because the two sides that for thousands of years have been at war, they learn to come to understand each other and to come together, and them playing the song together for the what I would say is the true a life sent on theme or officer theme is just really beautiful.
it's pretty good, must say. Connor, do you have anything about Xenoblade 3? Last time I checked, you've beaten this game.
Finally,
Yes, fuck off, Brewer. I have played the game. Um, Chain Attack theme is one of the coolest songs I've ever heard. I love. I can't remember what it's called, but whenever you fight an enemy that's a lot stronger than you, that song's really good. Um, I absolutely love the flutes and the fact that they made custom like flutes to make the
no, I was
music
just about
sound
to
better.
say that alone should have gotten them just like soundtrack of the year.
So should have Flute Guy also should have gotten them soundtrack.
Shout out
So
to Pedro Eustache, flute guy,
sorry, I lost
because
to a better game.
the Game Awards 2022. No, it not did not. God of Mid
Guy,
did not deserve that award.
I know you're only saying that because you want to piss off Brewer because I remember you got pissed
Yeah, no,
that
I
it
remember
lost.
you said that Xenoblade 3 should have won, guy.
Look,
Yeah,
look, I
exactly.
do think it should have won that soundtrack, But God of War Ragnarok, it literally does everything better than Xenoblade 3. I'm not even kidding.
Guy, you just say that because you're angry at Xenoblade all the time because of two. Two just scarred you that bad.
No, 3 like is good. It's not great. It's just good.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's amazing. Best in the
Yeah,
And
series.
I'm with Brewer on this. I think you just have a skill issue, guy.
I think you're just an elitist.
Yeah,
oh my
But also, I
lord.
was gonna say
I,
too, God of War got like what 20 different awards. You're
yeah,
telling me
that's
Yeah,
that's
9.
true.
yeah, you're telling me Xenoblade 3 couldn't
920, same thing.
yeah, guy, it's called a hyperbole, an exaggeration.
Oh my god.
Yes,
The
yeah, so suck
literary
my dick.
term known as hyperbole is often used in a way to exaggerate a current point. You fucking scumbag.
Connor's British now.
Alright, we need to cut.
Yeah. I see I'm recreating the Xenoblade series because they're British.
They are British. They are British. But yeah, I think Xenoblade 3, it was definitely my soundtrack of the year.
I'm sorry, it won 6 awards at the Game Awards. I'm stupid.
Even so, for the amount of awards they hand out, that is still a large majority of them.
No,
No, wait,
for
I'm
how
sorry.
much you're
Wait, what? No, it did. No, it is 6. Sorry, my bad.
for how
Yeah,
much you're
okay.
dick riding this game, you should probably get the amount of awards it got right.
Yeah, guy.
Hey Connor, for being such a fucking procrastinator on literally everything, how about you get up off your bed and get a life?
I am
Guy,
off
you
my
haven't
bed right
left
now.
your like house in just like what 10 years or something. Yeah, you haven't even left your chair. You've probably been sitting on it. You're probably fused to it by now, Tears of the Kingdom style.
Are you talking to me
He's
or
become
Connor?
I'm talking to you, guy.
Bruh. Tears of the Kingdom is a goat.
Like when you
Uh,
went to college, you probably were just being rolled along in that chair.
it's like
bruh.
he converted it into a wheelchair.
But
That's
yeah,
good.
Xenoblade 3 should have won over God of Mid.
Bruh.
And
I
next
back
reason I'm
Brewer
going
up.
to bring this up too is because of the unique battle theme, or You Will Know Her Names. Because the cool thing about You Will Know Her Names is it's a song that was in both of the other Xenoblades. Well, the names might have been slightly different, but they had their own versions of it. Whenever you fight a really strong enemy known as a unique monster that has buff stats, they can do different attacks than normal enemies, and generally will just kick your shit in.
The
They
Sigmas.
usually play just a really hype song. So it started off with Xenoblade 1, You Will Know Her Names. 2, I can't remember what the exact name of the song was because they made a slight weird variation of it. But we'll just forget that because Xenoblade 3's is by far the best. Because the flutes that I've been talking about so far that have been used for nice somber moments, to help you grieve or to make you like feel happy for the life that the soldiers had, or to make you feel sad over a soldier that recently passed. That'll make you really sad at one point of the game when a
Oh
character is
yeah.
about to be sent on. But I don't want
Everyone
to. I
gets
don't want to spoil
PTSD.
that.
Everyone gets PTSD when that's brought up.
I hate that that's the best part of the game, but yeah.
I still have it just ingrained in my mind. I don't think a quote would be a spoiler. You're an officer. So
Oh my.
set.
So send
I,
up.
I won't say the rest because that saying
That
the
is a spoiler.
pronoun could be a spoiler.
Bruh.
But yeah, you're an officer, aren't you? It's so messed up.
It's pretty messed up. Oh god. Was there
But yeah, the
was there
trees for a lot, but the best part is like the battles just to make you absolutely hype.
so true.
Yeah, and even the songs that don't have flutes are still amazing because the Mobius theme for like the main bad guys you fight, if you listen to that theme, that would be like a final boss theme and like any other JRPG. But for Xenoblade 3, it's just the boss theme for like the regular red guys.
Yeah.
And it starts out with just like this really intense choir, and then it just keeps ramping up throughout the battle.
No, that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
I love the Mobius track. I listen to it a lot. It's so hype.
The Morbius track.
Yeah, because the rest of
There's
the
more being
tracks they aren't nearly as intense. So the moment you hear the Mobius theme, and then it's just going off. It just makes you like really feel afraid, I guess, in a way, for like fighting these like weird otherworldly entities.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The Morbius theme is pretty good. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, that and like the last theme, the final boss theme, which it's gonna be a little hard to talk about, but because I don't want to spoil it. But as I was talking about before, with Guy's point of like it being really cool for a trilogy in the Dark Souls games, threes I really love their final boss theme because it's a culmination of like everything that's happened in the stories and a culmination of what happened in three to fight this just like god that how do I describe this? It just feels like a hopeless battle, but you feel hopeful because of all the allies you've gained over the course of your very, very long journey. Because,
It's a long game.
yeah, 60, 80 hour game.
Dude, it took me like 92 hours before I beat it.
Well, I'm just saying for like how long to beat.
Oh, I see.
Trust me, it took me about as long. So,
I was about to say. Oh my god. But
because
yeah.
two, it also just gradually builds up, like I said before with the other songs. It just starts off nice and slow, but then once you get to the final phase, it's just a really intense, and it just feels like a struggle that everyone in the world is trying to fight this one being so they can finally be set free.
It really is like it makes those themes like really pungent,
Yeah,
pungent. Yeah,
po-
I completely agree with you, man.
yeah, and I think it was like perfect for capping off the trilogy.
That I completely agree.
For once, we
So,
do.
except for that ending. Are there other
Ending was
songs you
good.
want to talk about?
The next one I did go on for a while, so I'll probably try to make this one a little quicker. But three is probably my favorite soundtrack, so just wanted to clear that one. This one probably isn't as well known. It has a decent cult following, but it's not super popular, especially if you look at its sales. It's The World Ends With You.
Ooh,
That
that's
and
one
its
I have not played.
sequel, Neo: The World Ends With You.
I haven't played that game yet.
Okay, then let me go through a quick run through of the game.
Oh, yeah, 20. I love that.
Yay. Okay, so starting off, it was a game that released back on the DS. It was made by Square Enix, and it is a action JRPG where you use the touchscreen to attack. Now, during the game, you play as this little bitch boy named Neku, and Neku is very much introverted, and he very much hates people.
That sounds like Connor.
That does sound like Connor. Holy shit,
Go fuck yourselves.
dude! You should cosplay Neku because Neku would also say, "Go fuck yourselves."
Bro, we know Connor in video games. It's Neku.
Oh my god, Connor's in The World
I'm,
Ends With You.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Don't
Sorry,
do that.
Connor.
Don't do that.
We might have to cut that out because then we will get like flagged for self harm.
I'll put Donkey Kong noises over you or something.
Monkey, monkey.
But yeah, keep going.
But yeah, so the game's themes are about just opening up because again, he starts off very introverted, and his partner is just like I'd say very extroverted and just trying to find herself. And then next is just like I do not give a I don't give a single damn, lady. I just want to get out of here. I just want to go home, and I don't want to
Can a
talk to
bitch,
you.
Does he come out of the
can a
closet or
bitch just
something?
not leave?
No, no. I mean, some people might say so for Pride Month, but no, he doesn't.
Oh my
He's
god,
not like you. He's not like you, guy.
bruh.
Shut up, Connor.
Oh my god.
But yeah, throughout the game, he starts getting these connections to people that helps him open up, and the songs reflect that too.
Bro, that's literally Persona.
Persona, yeah, no, Persona. A lot of the games I play are really similar to Persona sometimes.
Cheap copies.
Yeah, because here's the lyrics to a song called "Calling" that plays when you're just like running around trying to find a next objective. It also plays during a couple other times, but that's mainly when I remember it. So wake up, leave your hesitation. Wake up, time for us to realize. Wake up, show appreciation. Wake up, time for us to realize. Calling, someone is calling. So as you're getting just closer to the partners you meet throughout the game, he slowly starts opening up. So he's not going to hesitate. He's going to realize just how important these people are to him. He starts appreciating them more, and then he fully realizes just how important they are to him.
Oh,
Because again, he is an absolute prick at the beginning of the game. Because I don't want to spoil it, but he does not do some good things.
dude, that sounds like Guts Berserk.
Sounds
yeah,
like you.
gets berserk.
Dude, such a cool dude.
Guts trying not to have a hostage for 5 minutes.
Literally impossible. Read Berserk, everyone. It's really good.
But yeah,
Wow.
finally to end off with the games because I do love them, but it is a lot harder for me to talk about them compared to 3. Is it's gonna be Last Call, which it is really catchy. I'd recommend listening to it because it's for a specific boss theme. And in Neo, the lessons are kind of similar from what they were trying to show with the original The World Ends With You. Just learning to open up. But this one, I'd say, is also just don't avoid your problems because the main character, Rendo, what his issue is just trying to avoid what's on around him. And just like he looks down on his phone a lot, just like tries to ignore everything. So he kind of learns to just like face it head on and just rely on the people around him. So
Dang, I feel like I'd like this game.
you really would. I wish there were better ways to play it because there's the original DS, which is a lot of money.
True.
There's the Switch version, which is also a little bit of money, not as much. But it's one of those times where it's a game that it gets ported, and it has some new content, but there's some problems with the port, so there's not a perfect version of the game to play.
Like Majora's Mask.
Yeah, I'd say the Switch version is still probably the best version. That's the way I played it because it also has very important story content before you play the sequel,
No, that's fair.
and it has genuinely just really great writing with its characters. And its music
Noted.
isn't just like for time in with the characters; it's also really hype because they ramp up. They try a lot of different things. Because if I was to describe the soundtrack, I would say probably it's a mix of J-pop, rock, electro-pop, and there's probably just a lot of other types of music I could put in there. But those are just the main ones that stick out to me.
Gotcha. That's what's up. Shit, you kind of want me to? I may play this game. Who knows?
I could lend you a copy. But
Die
yeah,
actually
before
listening to a game
we
recommendation.
move on to Connor, I just want to go on to the lyrics real quick for like Last Call or parts of them.
Go for it.
Because as I was saying before, like the main character Rendo's problem, I'd say, is just how much he hesitates in the game or just is not sure of himself and his decisions. So the lyrics for Last Call is thoughts circulating round in my head. I keep ruminating about what you said. Should I just go or should I still stay? Can't help to think that it's not worth the chase. So that's one of the first parts of it. So as I said before, it ties in with the character as in just not being sure what to do. Just should I just go, or should I still stay? So hesitating a lot.
Yeah.
Then if I scroll down a little bit, because there's a lot. It's a song that loops. So one of the parts that plays later is know that you've got the power. The past is history. The train is long gone. Hear your voice getting louder. Flash lights are shining towards the next phase. So that kind of leads you on to when he does finally make that decision and he decides to walk forward. He has the strength to do it. He doesn't have to worry about what's been affecting him in the past. That train that he was on, he's finally off it and it's long gone. And that his voice is getting louder and that he's finally making it his own place.
Sick.
Yeah, so I really love that soundtrack. It's also up there with like Xenoblade and Persona because it's also probably one I have the most songs of in my soundtrack
Lamau.
because it is really catchy. And a little quick note on that too. It's one of the few soundtracks that I think sounds good in both Japanese and English because they have two versions sung in English and Japanese, and both of them rock.
Yeah, oh shit, that's something to consider. Like, languages like very much like giving different qualities, like depending on like culture or whatnot. That is something to consider.
Yeah, well, also for the general tone of how you would sing a song, because when you translate a language, you're not translating the words, you're translating meaning.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I think the way my Spanish teacher described it is you could say just someone could be saying like some four sentences long or just like a really long 30-second speech or something in like one language. And when you translate it, it's just like a couple words that took like 5 seconds to say
No, I
because
can.
it isn't words you're translating, it's meaning.
No,
So if you try to translate that to a song, where the pace of the song can dictate how it sounds and what you're trying to emphasize there harmonically, that can be very difficult to translate over.
no, for sure, for sure, for sure. I remember being taught that in Spanish class.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit it cheats a little because some of the songs just do also have English mixed into it, but I still think it does a really good job of that.
Yeah.
And again, it's a bop.
All right. I think it's Connor's turn.
Connor.
It's my turn.
Puck.
Okay.
No, it's not. Episode ended. Bye bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Bye. Make sure to smash that subscribe
No, we're
button
kidding.
so
We're
that
kidding.
way.
We're kidding. We're kidding.
I thought he was about to say, make sure to comment kill Brewer.
That
Make
would have
sure
been
to
really funny.
make sure to hire an assassin at this location.
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
My name is Walter
There's
Harper
hole
White.
through hole white.
I live at. Fuck. What is it?
That's where he lives. Fuck, where is it?
Yes, that is my location. Fuck, where is it?
My name is Walter. Fuck. Hold up. I have the entire. Thank you to someone on Twitter. My name is Walter
Thank you,
Harper
Twitter.
White. I live at 308 Negro Royal Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico, 87104. This is my confession. For the past year and a half, my brother-in-law, Hank
Okay,
Schrader.
guy, you don't have to go that far. I'm just gonna stop you right there. Sorry, but not sorry. Connor, you go before guy keeps going on more rants.
It's Breaking Bad.
Shut up.
Well, see, that actually leads into a good point because the soundtrack I'm covering is Breaking Bad.
Fuck.
Perfect.
Okay,
You see,
yeah, Guy showed me. Um, but for real though, the two soundtracks I'm covering are Celeste and Deltarune, two of the, in my opinion, two of the best games of all time.
I only agree to
Um,
one of those.
I mean, Deltarune isn't finished, so
Exactly.
I would agree to Celeste because I really love that game,
okay,
but
listen,
but not Deltarune. I'm sorry.
let me have my happiness for once.
No, you don't get to be happy.
Listen, Deltarune is an amazing game, and just because it's not finished doesn't mean it's not an amazing game. So go fuck yourselves. But yes, so I'm going to cover Celeste first. Celeste is my sixth favorite game of all time, which might seem surprising, but if we included the songs from my favorite games of all time, we would probably get copy struck or copyright striked. So
Thank you, Nintendo.
That's
thumbs
not
up.
exactly epic. You see.
Okay,
Go.
so for Celeste, the four songs I'm talking about are "Quiet and Falling," "Reach the Summit," "Fear of the Unknown," and "Farewell." You'll For people who have played the game, you'll notice that none of the B side tracks are in there, and the only reason I'm doing that is because they are remixes. Not as far as I know. I'm just gonna give that disclaimer. As far as I know, they are just remixes by people and not by the original composer. Um, believe it's Lena Rain. I believe that's her name.
I mean,
But
I'd still say if they're good though. I mean, maybe
They are
include them
good.
because I mean, remixes
They're
can be a bop. Like
oh
Xenoblade,
no.
Xenoblade 3, remixes of Drifting Soul and the battle theme from Future Connected, Kaleidoscope Core, and Brilliant Wings. Those are bops, and they very much changed the song.
Well, the thing is, the reason why I don't include them is because they weren't by the original composer. If they were remixes by Lena, then I would include them.
I mean,
But
I still think the songs are
I
great though.
just no, the songs are really really good. I love the remixes so much, but I want to go into like because the song because they're no discredit to the composers, but they are for basically side content. The B sides don't really contribute to the main story all that much.
Yeah, no, I know.
There's
Connor's calling
It
composers
just kind
mid.
of felt like a little discredited. That's all I was trying to say.
Connor's calling composers mid.
I'm not calling them mid. The
I
remixes are
know.
phenomenal, and I love every single one of them. But just for purely for discussing the themes of the game, that's why I'm only including the base soundtrack and the DLC
Okay, yeah,
sound.
that's fair, I guess, because the soundtrack is one of those that I say is designed to go around with the game's themes, the anxiety that the main character has, and just also your emotions as you're going through climbing the mountain.
Yeah, and that's why I chose the two bass songs I chose are exactly about those two themes. You're so smart, Brewer. I'm so
I
proud of
wish I
you.
knew the names of these songs because I definitely do not. I know them by heart, but I do not know them by name.
Okay, Quiet and Falling is the I really am going to be embarrassed if I'm wrong about this, but I don't think I am. Is the song at the start of the Mirror Temple?
Man, that's really
Uh,
cool. Guy, fact check him so we can tell him he's wrong.
All right, we'll do.
okay, well, guys,
Go, go,
going
go,
to
go,
fact
go.
check. Well, guys, going to fact check me like a loser on Twitter. I'm going to discuss Quiet and Falling. So, Quiet and Falling, um, in the best, and it, I feel like can only be described as an out of as a way to symbolize an out of body experience. The entire song feels almost ethereal in a sense, with um with the way the instruments and the synth and all the other things are melded together. And at least whenever I listen to it, I sort of just imagine floating through space in a sort of way.
Well, the Mirror Temple is definitely one of the more interesting locations
Yeah,
compared to the
and
rest of the game
I have not played Celeste yet.
because it doesn't
you're
like
correct.
directly relate to the mountain. It relates to the
The
character,
character, yeah, to Madeline
yeah, to
or
Madeline. Because one really
Madeline.
cool thing I want to say about one of the tracks in there that I remember is that if you reverse it, you can actually hear a message getting played.
Yeah, I believe that is Into the Mirror.
Yeah, let me look it up. I'll find the
It's
exact message.
okay, okay. Um okay, so the reason why I chose Quiet and Falling is because it comes right after the panic attack scene in the game. In that scene, uh, I guess spoilers. I'll try to be as indistinct as non-spoilery as possible,
Yeah,
but
as I luckily for Celeste, its story when it comes to spoilers, because it is a simple story, but I think it's its execution and the way you experience it as the player is what made it great.
yeah, I 100% agree. But to just uh, not to be as non-specific as possible, in the scene, our protagonist Madeline and her friend Theo are traveling up to the Mirror Temple, and while they're traveling up there, the thing they are taking up there breaks, and it just fills Madeline with so much anxiety that she has a panic attack, and she calms down, luckily, but I think the reason why I like Quiet and Falling so much is because it captures that sort of out of body experience that you have after going through a situation like that. At least in my opinion, it does.
Yeah, I was about to
Because
ask, have you ever been in a panic attack?
I
Yeah,
have.
yeah. I was just about to say, if you're saying that, it's like, does that mean? Should I ask?
I yeah, I have been in one before.
Sure.
It was not a fun
I
experience,
mean,
as
I
anyone would
don't
know.
imagine it would be.
Yeah, as anyone would know, it's not a fun experience. Um, but that that song is that's why it's special to me because it while it does remind me of when it happened, it's sort of calming in a sense. It feels like you're taking a deep breath in and slowly exhaling, especially later in the song where what I could only describe as bubble effects begin playing. That are sound very close to Donkey Kong 64, which very based.
Monkey
DK rap!
Yeah,
DK Donkey Kong.
Blah, blah, blah. He's the leader of the bunch. You know, we should have talked about that.
I'm
yeah,
sorry. We're having a really emotional Celeste moment, and then DK
yeah,
Donkey Kong.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
since
Um,
Celeste's soundtrack, it just really supports the whole game's narrative and story. It's like I'd say it's the backbone of it.
yeah, I 100% agree. And nowhere for me is that more prevalent than with I'll say finale to the game. And I'm going to be as non spoilery as possible. But again, if you're wanting to go into if I would very recommend you play this game. It is really, really good.
And it's cheap. You
But
can get it for $5.
it is, yeah, yeah, it is very cheap. That's a good point, Brewer. Um, but if you want to go into this completely blind, or as blind as you can, um, just be wary, I guess. I will try to be as non spoiler as possible though.
Skip
But the
to here if
song,
you don't want to hear any spoilers.
yeah, uh, the song "Reach the Summit" is what I could only describe as a bundling of the entire game. It is the entire game like mixed and melded into this meticulous like musical track, and it works so well because the entire track takes the songs and themes from all the previous levels and mixes them into one really good song. And and it's separated, so and you can tell when a different part of the game is being represented. Like I believe it's 3 minutes in. We first then switch to the first level. Then 4 minutes in, we switch to the second level, I believe, and then it keeps going like that. And the reason why I love it so much is because it completely summarizes up the game, and it starts from like these humble sort of beginnings, and as the song goes on and you get closer and closer to the big points of the story, that's when the sort of music starts to slow down, and what I can only describe as takes a breath. It takes a deep breath right near the 8 minute, 7 minute ish mark, and then it just crashes down into a big triumphant finale as you reach the final part of the level. And it completely mirrors the game because that is exactly what happened in the game. You had to take a deep breath and then you get thrown into this absolute like just major like level, and it works so well because of how well it bookmarks it. And honestly, sort of by mirroring the game itself in this song, it also really helps with the theme of determination within the game because like that theme is such a big part of the game that it even gives sort of Undertale like a bit of a run for its money.
I was just about to say that. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like throughout the whole entire like the gameplay experience, the story and the music all embody this theme of determination. Because if you've played Celeste, you know in order to beat that game, you have to be incredibly determined because it is hard as balls.
Just like Berserk.
It is very hard, but I'd say it is fair though.
Oh no, it's
Because
100%
I
fair.
wasn't like super frustrated. There were a couple of portions where I was just like, man, this is really hard because like I died 20 times in a row.
Did you ever play the DLC?
No, the DLC, I'll say, yeah, no, that
The DLC
that's
was
fair. That's
a
fair.
the DLC was an entire different monster.
I mean, that is
But
fair. That's like extra content for the people to enjoy. So
How about
yeah,
go play
but it also
Dark
I
Souls?
think
but
I think for the DLC's message too,
I
and
think
what the
uh
Madeline goes through,
yeah,
it's really
I want
fitting.
to I do want to get into that when I talk about the DLC tracks, but in order to talk about that, I would very much have to spoil the
Well, how
Bro,
about
uh
you
let's.
just put a spoiler thing, Connor.
All
I
right.
know, so
Well,
that was
finish up your last spoilers right now, and then I will timestamp it.
got it. Okay. So the whole thing of the DLC is that Madeline has she went back to Celeste Mountain to visit Granny, only for Granny to have died. And
Fucking dead.
yeah, and the whole entire DLC called Farewell is all about how Madeline is trying to cope with the loss of Granny and how she is trying to, you know, uh, do that. Like she's trying to. Um, I
Well, I
lost
think I think
my
it's a
place.
mixture of her coping with it, but also her being in straight up denial, which I think it's why that it being such a brutally hard and challenging portion of the game or for the DLC is fitting because that denial is something that's very hard to go through. It's like
Yeah,
when I lost my
and
granny, that's kind of how it felt. Just like, no, there's no way she can be dying in a couple weeks. That no, it's not true. She's still here. It's fine. But
yeah,
that's not the case when those types of things happen or someone you love passes on.
yeah,
But
and I
you try
think
to deny that, and it's just a very hard battle to go through, which
yeah,
is what Madeline
I
goes through.
yeah, I personally really like how the at least in my interpretation of the events, how it mirrors the path of grief because it starts with the starting track is called Fear of the Unknown, and how and that sort of is what I could only describe as what it feels like to be confronted with death. It is an unknown experience, especially to someone young. That and it's just a very you're afraid because you don't want to lose that person, and so you're in denial, and you're just telling yourself, no, it can't be right, it can't be that, and the music perfectly mirrors that. It's both timid yet sinister at the exact same time, and it's a really cool blend of how they mix that. And that whole path of grief also is incorporated within the ending of the song, which of the DLC, which is Farewell, which is literally just, as the name implies, just Madeline, you know, uh, coping and being able to accept that Granny's gone.
All right. I've never played Celeste, so that's really funny. You must.
She's fucking dead.
All
All right, all right. I'm gonna timestamp right now.
right, thank God. So we just talked about some very cool soundtracks, and I think it's very important to bring up music when it comes to video game soundtracks. Like, of course, we could have gone a lot deeper, saying how much the music going into our ears, helps our brains do A, B, and C. But still, it's like I don't know. It's something that I've grown so accustomed to with video games. That's kind of something I can't live without, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, the thing too with the soundtracks, it's easy to just say this is catchy and this is a bop, but I think when you try to truly like analyze a soundtrack at its core is when you can really start to like see the message the game was trying to tell you.
So true. It's it is like it is beautiful. Music is really beautiful,
Yeah,
and
that or it'll help you invoke strong emotions for the game you played and like deepen that love you have for it.
it does. It really does. Like Persona 5, like I love it for everything it does, but like another like but one of the pillars that helps it be my favorite game is the music. And it's something I feel like is extremely underrated, the music aspect of video games, because they set the tone, they set themes like you said. It's so good.
Well, I think the way video game music is just viewed in general too. I think it's the same way that like animation is viewed for cinema sometimes.
So
That
true.
it's
Oh
very
my god.
underappreciated, or that it's not given enough credit just compared to its contemporaries. Because like for video game music, like I do think it can stand next to just like regular music too. I mean, sometimes it is just regular music, or people listen to it like it's regular music. Because
I'm gonna be honest.
I think while it's good to get a mix of everything, whenever I mention that I do like to listen to a lot of video game soundtracks, usually the reactions I get is like, "Oh, so you're just listening to 8-bit Mario themes and dubstep," which is very much not the case.
Yeah, I'm gonna be entirely honest. Every song in Persona 5 is better than anything Cardi B has ever made.
Oh, I'm gonna hop on you with that. That and Xenoblade.
So true. Um, I it's so true. I'm gonna be honest. Like modern music, like in the mainstream of like media, I really don't like because it's oversaturated with like shitty rap. Um,
I'm not gonna completely discredit like a lot of the new modern artists because
no, no, no.
too, it's hard to define just like the really good stuff when it's so accessible now that there's a lot of people. I guess if that's a good way of putting it.
No, I completely get that, but it's like because people flock to one part of like the music culture, they don't like appreciate the other parts of it. Like you said, it's like an animation thing with cinema. Like a recent movie that just came out, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, is probably the best looking film I've ever seen in my life, and it's an animated film. You know what I mean?
But it's probably going to be ignored at the Grammys, or it's only going to be in the animated film category.
Which I hate,
Yeah,
by the
that's
way. That
Yeah,
ridiculous.
which
shit.
is kind of just like saying, "Oh yeah, it's just the little animated films. They can have their fun. Now here's the real movies," and
Puss in
then
Boots. Puss
and
in
they pull
Yeah,
up
I
Boots
some
can't.
not
trash.
getting Puss in Boots not getting nominated for Best Picture really pissed me off last year.
Did Pinocchio at
I'm
least
gonna
get
be honest.
nominated?
No, it got
Okay, I was gonna
yeah.
say Pinocchio was like the only one that probably had a chance because it's Pinocchio, but still, if even that can't get in, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so dumb.
I'm gonna be like, this is off topic, but the I cannot wait for the Oscars or whatever this year where they make a shitty animation is just for kids joke again. Meanwhile, Across the Spider Verse and Puss in Boots deal with very heavy things that are not for kids, like death and destiny. And do you need to destroy like the moral conflict between a life and death? It's gonna be awesome.
Well, I think those themes, since like it is rated E for everyone, I think it's more so they can apply to everyone. It's something that no matter the age, you can take a good viewpoint on it.
I
Yeah.
know. I'm tired of like that the bigwigs up there larping in Across the Spider Verse with shit like Paw Patrol.
Um, Going back to just video game music again, we love it. My entire fucking album, like, and like my playlist, not my album. I've never released an album. My playlist on
The guy album.
the Thick G album releasing soon to stores near you.
Hopefully
Um,
never.
no, it's coming. Don't worry.
For negative $2.
I'm gonna make. Wait till I release my Brew Crew diss track. That shit's gonna be fire. Um,
You don't want to see what my what I do to Fireback.
um, but yeah, like my playlist is just Mostly video game music. Like I have my Metal Gear Rising, my Persona, my Souls, my Xenoblade.
We have
I
a
have all.
very similar soundtrack build, guy. Other than the Souls, like all the other things you listed are in my
Do
playlist.
you have Sonic Frontiers?
I don't have Sonic Frontiers because I haven't played it yet.
Okay, the music in that I haven't played it, but the music is crazy good.
I do need to play more
Uh,
Sonic games because I think the only one that I've ever actually fully beat is probably Colors.
That's fair.
And I mean, I really like that game.
It's a good game.
I have fond memories of it when I was a kid and when I replayed it as an adult.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, music is something I feel like. But yeah, music is just something that like it should be appreciated more. But again, we're just beating a dead horse at this point. Brewer, I think you want to say something else. Ooh,
What do I want to say? First thing, I wanted this guy for how hairy he is.
I hate you.
Good. Yeah, I guess maybe I can mention a couple other smaller soundtracks that I wanted to mention, but didn't really have a lot of time. So, how about we do a little quick speed round of some games?
Pokemon.
Okay, yeah, Pokemon. No matter like the game's like quality in certain areas, with like maybe its graphics, art style, design,
Choices.
yeah, a lot of things. No matter that, I think the one thing they've always knocked that out of the park with is the music.
I completely agree.
It's because
Um,
some are better than others, but
yeah,
there's a lot of good shit out there. Like I think Scarlet and Violet, even through all their myriad of issues, their music was really good because I love like the Team Star theme, the boss of Team Star's theme.
yeah. Oh, that's such a good song.
Yeah, the Treasures of Ruin.
God, they are good. Crap. God, I forget how good the soundtrack is for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah, I have a lot. I actually have a good couple of them pulled up on there. That are
Um.
like iconic ones too, like the amount of people that were scarred by Cynthia's theme, or just like that piano beat.
Oh, that's PTSD in a nutshell.
Because you just listen to it and you're like, no, no, Garchops, no.
Um. God. Another game I want to bring up, Zelda. The Zelda music in all the games are so good.
I really love saxophones.
Saxophones are fun.
And the thumbnails, all of us are going to be holding saxophones.
Please. But I really do love the Zelda themes. Like the not Zelda. Well, yeah, the Zelda themes are really good. But the music throughout Zelda is really good because it's very varied. I want to
I
say
mean, it's like it's iconic at this point.
it really is. Like take for instance Saria's song. That's the most iconic song in all of Zelda. It's a simple do 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 do, but it's like it's so catchy and it's so good. And it's like the music throughout all the games are just so good like that.
And
I
they're
mean,
so good for just like pumping you up for an adventure too, as you just explore whatever version of Hyrule you're in.
exactly like the third trailer for Tears of the Kingdom. Oh my god, that the music that plays in that trailer
That
is
single handedly probably sold like an extra 2.5 million copies. I'm not even kidding on that.
yeah he's not the theme the music that is used in that is so good. They use a saxophone, which we've been joking about. It's so good. Like genuinely, go look at that trailer because it is something that
Dude, there's
made
so
me
many people that I know that said that like they rewatched that trailer like 30 times before the game came out. I was like, bro, come on, those are rookie numbers. You gotta get that up. 60
literally me,
60 minimum.
literally me.
Because that trailer just got me so hyped for the game, and then when I started playing it, it delivered.
So true. And then the boss themes for this in the Zelda games are so good, and they're all different, which is great.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Can I talk about something real quick with video game music too? This isn't a specific track, but it's something that I've mentioned before that I like to see.
yeah,
But because games, unlike movies, you can't perfectly time everything out sound effect wise and music wise. A lot of times you have tracks that loop, but then you also have tracks that adapt to what's currently happening, which is really hype. Like Xenoblade 3 that I mentioned before, the unique battle theme that I absolutely love. if you're winning, just the flutes are kicking in at full force. It is hype.
Oh yeah, the music does change depending on the.
Yeah, that or I want to mention a really niche one too that I mentioned in like one of our earlier episodes of Skies of Arcadia. Well, the whole soundtrack is pretty good. The one that stands out to me is always the boss theme because it usually makes you have like a little anxiety, just like you're going up against this really strong foe, and it just feels really tough as you're like struggling against it. But then when you're winning, it's just amazing. It just kicks in and it's like da, na, 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 na. I don't know how to describe it, like the instruments they use specifically, but it's just this really grand theme from what felt like a dreary theme to like really invigorate you with a lot of energy as you're kicking the thing's ass.
I get that.
But on the vice versa, there's
Yeah.
also when you get your ass kicked. Because for anyone that played the Gen 5 Pokemon games, they certainly know about the music that goes on for whenever you're at Red.
Oh yeah, that theme. God, that shit is stressful.
So
I
yeah,
love.
music doesn't just have to be for like something to like hype you up, make you feel happy, or just you listen to on a common basis, but also to fit what the game's trying to make you feel at the time. So if you're afraid, really spooky music, or just like if you're going against a strong enemy, make you feel intimidated, that type of deal.
Which is really good. I love that they did that in Gen 5. It's good. But I'm really the one who can really speak about this. But music in Final Fantasy. I've only played Final Fantasy 7 and 10 like through, like fully. Um,
I mean, there is one thing that I think all of us can mention, and that's Edgy Roth's theme.
boop 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 boop.
Yeah, because One Winged Angel is just iconic. Because people like even take videos of themselves playing it at like churches and stuff.
Yeah, but that's just like. I mean, obviously, like One Winged Angel is one of the best songs ever composed. But I want to talk about the other things, like the battle theme in Final Fantasy 7. It's like a do 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 do.
Don't get me wrong, that's really good too. But just One Winged Angel is just iconic at this point, and like
Oh, I know.
all of us do know it, even though we haven't played, even though some of us haven't played Final Fantasy.
Yeah, it's like the the other songs are just as good because like they set the tone in like the battle theme. It's like, yeah, we got this, we can do it. But like One Winged Angel like genuinely makes you terrified because like Sephiroth has been at that point in the game was so built up to be like this powerful being who's willing to do anything to meet his ends meet, and it's such a good boss fight. Oh my god,
He's just a chaotic prick.
he is. He literally
He's a menace to society.
more than society. But
Everything.
yeah. Connors, any other speed round things you wanna go through?
Listen to the Deltarune soundtrack. Listen to the Hollow Knight soundtrack. Listen to the yeah, that's about it. Just listen to
Hotline
those
Miami.
soundtracks. Yeah, sure.
If we're going with a lot of indie games, I just wanted to throw that one out there.
Um. Oh, AI the Somniphals. The music in that is really good.
Yeah, which we're actually having playing in the background, which currently can't hear right now, but it's edited in and it's very nice.
Thank you, post editing.
Yay! But yeah,
Um.
as you're talking throughout the game, you have little themes going on and around the background, and they're just really good for talks, but also the general vibes of the characters and the location you're at.
True.
It's like the one that I'm going to edit in to play later or play now is for when you're in a Yakuza den. So I feel like since you're listening to it now, it's very fitting to just the characters you would find in there for just a mob. Just the general hard tone it is, but also the relaxed way the characters play around themselves.
It's a very good song. I do agree.
Yeah.
If you've seen our Tears of the Kingdom OLED unboxing video, that's the song used there.
Yeah, that's the song I use there.
What other franchise I want to mention? Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god, the music is good.
One really neat thing I want to mention with that is the World's End with You. The characters in I think like the 3DS game,
Yeah, Dream Drop
they're
Distance.
actually in there.
Yeah, Dream Drop Distance has a crossover. I remember that.
Yeah, and then they have a remix of like one of the most popular songs from The World Ends With You, Twister. It has its own version of it. So
Yeah, I'm the big Kingdom Hearts fan in here, so I know when characters are where.
yeah. Even if they're
Um,
over like 20 different fucking games.
I yeah, I never agreed with Kingdom Hearts like structure, but it'd be like that.
Me trying to understand a Kingdom Hearts story.
It's funny because like I don't think the lore is that hard when you to understand when you play the games, but like if you're trying to tell someone, it's so hard to understand.
What's going to be harder, taking the SAT or trying to understand Kingdom Hearts lore?
Fuck.
Kingdom Hearts lore.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts lore.
But
Or not even lore, just story.
true. God, one more thing I wanted to mention when it came to music soundtracks. God, I really want to mention Monster Hunter.
Rise of a Hero.
Rise of a Hero is one of the best themes in any video game. I'm gonna be for real. Especially, oh god, Brewer, cannot believe you have not fought Fatalis because of this yet.
I'm
Rise of the Hero
sorry.
is like
Well, I
Rise
mean,
of
if
the,
it makes you feel better, I fought Fatalis in 4 Ultimate.
not as good. Um, but
It was a 3DS game, guy.
shush. But with the Rise of the Hero, it's like the main theme of the
Wait,
series.
is it called Call of a Hero or something?
I,
It's really late. I've had a long day. Let me check.
yeah, hold up. I might be confused as well. Call of
Proof of a Hero.
Root of the Hero.
Yeah, no, I was thinking
Proof
something sounded wrong with that for a bit, and I was like, wait a moment.
of the Hero. Yes, we are both stupid.
We're
That's
idiots.
that's like the,
We are fake Monster Hunter fans.
so true. But that's like the main theme of the series. And
I wouldn't say main theme, but it's just a theme that's very prevalent, and I think they've used it for about every game.
pretty much. But with Fatalis, which is the final boss they added into Monster Hunter World's DLC Iceborne. I love that boss fight. It's the best fight in the game. But what they did is at the final phase of the fight, they transitioned Fatalis' theme into Proof of the Hero. Like reminding you like this is the biggest threat in the entire like series. You were
Looks like
so
you're gonna kill it.
you were so close. You were this close to proving yourself as being a master hunter. Go and do it.
Yeah.
And it hypes me up so much when I do that. Like even though I fought Fatalis like time before, like even though when that theme plays, I get so hyped up because I'm like, come on, we got this, we got this. And then
Yeah.
once we, that was one of the most satisfying quests like to finish ever. It's so good.
I mean, that's what I was saying before. Like the themes they use in the games can make you just feel really triumphant and just invoke those emotions in you.
It does do that.
Because
Like,
especially in Monster Hunter, they've used that a lot. So like if you played the previous games before, like that trilogy effect we mentioned before, but this one even bigger because there's a lot of Monster Hunters, then you're gonna feel really emotional with that just because of all the games that have used it, but also the effectiveness of when they use it because it's usually for saved for like one of the last fights you can unlock in the game, and it's for like a really difficult monster, but it plays right when like the monster's at its strongest, but it's close to dead. So you know that you just gotta push through a little more to finally just cut that thing's head off.
which is awesome.
Even if it's a Dalamadur and it's gigantic.
But yeah. With that being said, this this has been our music episode. Do we have any final thoughts from Logan Brewer? Logan and Connor. I really don't. I
Man,
don't have anything to
using my
say.
full name like that.
Yes, because I am your dad.
Yeah, sure.
Any final thoughts?
All I'm gonna say is just flutes are goaded. I even ordered my own Xenoblade flute recently because it's so
That's
good.
funny.
So shout out to my man Pedro Eustache again. Flute guy rocked. He knew that Xenoblade 3 should have won soundtrack of the year and not God of Mid.
Oh my god.
I agree.
Connor, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Maybe just a Deltarune point. Just listen to Attack of the Killer Queen.
It's really good. But with that being said, don't forget to guitar smash that subscribe button so that the algorithm cannot fuck us for once in our lives. Please, we need the support as much as possible.
Yeah, and take your flute and just blow it right into that like button. Just like absolutely just go.
And
And make sure to comment on what your favorite songs from games and some suggestions on what our next video should be.
with that being said, guys, thank y'all so much for listening to this episode on music, and that is today's episode. Thank y'all very much. Have a great rest of the day.
Adios.